What's up? Today we're going to talk about how to actually improve your stamina in wrestling. If you're new here, I'm Weston Wichman. I was a Division I wrestler for 4 years, started for 3. I grew up in Wisconsin where I was runner-up in state. But I feel like this is a very focused on aspect of wrestling, and I don't really think it needs to be. And it's primarily focused with youth guys, which I don't really understand because most of their matches are 3 minutes. It's like they're a little kid with infinite amount of energy, and it's only a 3-minute match, so why are we focused on this? So this is more geared towards high school and college guys, because I really don't think that this should be a concern in youth. Like I said, their matches are only 3 minutes, and they have a bunch of energy anyways. So youth, let's just leave it alone, let them just wrestle. High school, college, it starts to become a problem where your matches are a little bit longer, and you start getting muscles, and your body starts using more energy and oxygen. And there's just a lot more to run, right? Where conditioning can actually be a factor in wrestling. And your opponent also gets stronger, and he's pulling on you, which makes it harder too. So in high school, I think the best way to do it is just wrestle. Wrestle really, really hard. There's a couple ways, I'll go through them. First way, long live goes. That gets you better at wrestling, and it also improves your conditioning. That being said, you have to wrestle hard during the live go. So if you're doing a 30-minute go or a 20-minute go, you wrestle as hard as you can, and when you get tired, you continue to do the right things, and you don't let your being exhausted stop you from being in good position, stop you from attacking, stop you from taking good shots, stop you from making good decisions. That's a good way, because it doesn't matter if you go really hard, get tired, and then you just give up the rest of the go. That's not building your cardio. But if you make the correct decisions while you're tired, that's going to build your decision making while tired, and also your muscle memory of, hey, I'm tired, but I still need to hold position. Second thing is hard drilling, which kind of relates to what I just said, is as we're tired, we're making sure that we're doing the correct things. So it's not just hard drilling and doing a bunch of sloppy reps, right? But maybe put some time on the clock, see how many reps you can get while not losing quality in your reps either. So third thing I would say about this is just practice a little bit harder than what you are right now, right? It doesn't need to be hard drilling, it doesn't need to be live goes, but when you're at practice, you're focused, you're locked in, you're getting your reps in, and you're hitting a bunch of them, right? Coach says hit single legs. Well, you've practiced a single leg before, you're not learning a single leg. Let's smash out a bunch of reps. Where I think guys, coach says hit something that they already know, and they don't necessarily work very hard, or they kind of lackadaisically go through it. Now, when you're learning new technique, I do think it's important to slow everything down and really focus on what you're doing. But if it's something you already know, just work a little harder in practice, and you'll see that carry into your conditioning. A practice an hour and a half. Like if you're working hard for an hour and a half, that's a long time. You should be able to go pretty hard for 6 minutes. College, I think it gets a little bit different because you start dealing with more injuries. There's, I'll say you're getting older, but like you're not getting, I don't know if it's the oldness of the body because your body's still really, really young, but you probably maybe been doing wrestling for a while and you got little injuries here, little injuries there. And so sometimes I think it is important to step off of the mat sometimes and kind of let your body relax and not have so much stress on it, because Division I college, we were wrestling a lot. So bike sprints are a great way. You can work really, really hard in a bike sprint, and I feel like it's similar. It's obviously probably not the same feeling or same muscles or anything like that, but it's a pretty similar feeling. Like your legs are pumping, but it also, if you're on an airdyne with your arms pumping, it's kind of like a full body-ish workout. And I think doing sprints are probably the best for it. It's just sprint, break, sprint, break, sprint, break. Obviously you can have longer goes there as well, but it's a little like you can only go 100% on an airdyne bike for so long. So I think the sprints and just blowing it out is a lot better than the long goes for conditioning purposes. The other thing I think would help is just basically any hard, and then you break, and then you go hard, and then you break. So even like a lift with some lighter weights that includes a full body movement, like hang clean, squat clean, that type of stuff. All those things are good, and you just do X amount of reps in X amount of time, break for a little bit, and then repeat it, and you do it over and over and over, and so it's really exhausting, right? Now, obviously in college you can drill hard, you can do, hard drilling, you can live wrestle for a very long time. All the same stuff applies from high school into college. These are just some more ideas as you kind of get older. But I think the principle too that's overlooked is the kid has to know how to push himself. So if you're trying to get better conditioning, you have to know how to get yourself tired and then continue pushing after that. Because I think a lot of people, they can go a lot further than what they think, right? If they have 100% capacity of their gas tank or stamina, some kids only know how to use 60% of that. And so I think just slowly pushing it where, he gets to 60% and he thinks he's exhausted, can't go anymore. Well, we push it to 62, 63 one day. And then now he knows he can go that hard, right? Oh man, I didn't think I could go that hard. Well, now he's at 63, now we push it to 65. Now we push it to 67, right? And we continue doing this and we continue showing him that he has more and more to go. And I think that extends it as well. So it's not even really working harder than what you're already doing, or maybe it's not even different than what you're already doing, but it's just letting that kid realize that, hey, I do have more to give. So getting him to that point, pushing him a little bit, and then, relaxing and resting and stuff. Now, that being said, you can't go too hard on the spectrum, because if you try to push this kid, from 60% to 100% in one day, he's going to be like, screw this, I'm never doing that ever again. And then he might hold back, right? The next time you try to do it, he might hold back. So just pushing little bits at a time and almost like tricking your kids into knowing that they can go longer and harder. I think these are some really good ideas. I'm not a huge fan of running. I don't think it does much for your cardio for wrestling, I'll be honest. Yeah, and that's just not even me saying that, because I'm just not a fan of running. I think maybe you could argue some mental aspects of wrestling or in running, because you're by yourself and you're pushing yourself and stuff like that. I just really don't think cardio for running correlates with cardio for wrestling. So I could be wrong. I'm not a scientist. Don't quote me on that, but I appreciate you watching my video. Hope you learned something. Like and subscribe.